Welcome to another episode of Success in the Classroom. Joining me today is Miss Leslie Bell, Director of Food Service. Welcome, Miss Bell.
Good morning. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Dr. Shepard.
So I just want to jump right into it this morning. So Director of Food Service, we have so many amazing food service heroes that work in our district. Tell us a little bit about some of these amazing men and women who feed us every day.
Yes, and you're right. They are amazing. They get up very, very early each morning to come feed the children and love the children in this school district. They provide the meals, they provide encouragement, they provide nutritional education when they get the opportunity to, but they're here to love the children and educate the children just like everyone else is.
Wonderful. Now, we know that each year there are certain weeks for meals and food service that you all celebrate. And coming up in October, we'll be celebrating National School Lunch Week. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about what will happen that week.
Wow, that is an amazing week for us. That's so much fun. In our industry, there's not a lot of recognition. You know, we often are called lunch ladies or lunch men, and we love National School Lunch Week. And you're right, it's October 11th through 14th of this year.
Okay.
And our teams will be celebrating in every cafeteria. They will decorate. They will have poster contests with the students. They will have all types of engagement, activities with the students to get them engaged in the lunch. And then the purpose of that week is to celebrate nutrition with lunches in our schools, and also to take that opportunity to highlight the nutritional meals that we provide for the students. They'll often provide nutrition education during that week and do all types of activities with the students. This year's theme is Love, Peace, and Groovy. So yes, we will be dressing up quite often that week, and we will be inviting our legislative members from the state. We also will invite community members out to visit. And that gives us an opportunity to educate the community and also educate our legislative members on the nutrition program.
Absolutely.
And some of the challenges that we may have and some of the outcomes that we have based on these waivers that have been reduced and taken away. So it's kind of a two-way street. So we engage the students and highlight the nutritional meals, but we also educate our community and educate the legislative members and invite them to have lunch with us that week.
Okay, all right. Stakeholders, you heard it. October 10th
through the 14th.
Through the 14th. National School Lunch Week, 70s theme. Dust off your platforms and your bell bottoms and make sure you show up to your child's school that week and have lunch. Now, Ms. Bell, you mentioned several pieces there. You made a comment about choices that students have each day and the variety of meals that are provided. Tell us a little bit about what's provided, because I know we see the menus come out every month, and we get the breakfast menu, the lunch menu, but what do they have offered to them each day when they go through the lunch line?
Okay. Well, for those who don't know, it's a federally funded program, so we have to meet all the USDA guidelines.
Okay.
So what that means is our dietitians have to work with the state to come up with menus that are nutritionally sound, number one, but also that looks at the trans fats. We have to reduce the trans fats, we have to reduce saturated fats, we have to reduce sugars in all of our menus. And then we create a menu from that based on the state guidelines. And just so you know, if we don't meet those guidelines, then the district is not reimbursed for those meals that are served.
Okay.
So again, there are a lot of requirements that we have to follow.
Okay.
But when we go to the choices, once we have our menu developed and it's state approved, then we go out and just add additional items to that kind of make it a sound menu and something that's going to be appetizing to the students.
Okay.
So, for example, the elementary students, they may have anywhere from 3 to 5 entrees each day. And some of those standards are the same, so we'll have some salads every day, we'll have PB&J sandwiches every day, and then we'll have a hot entree every day, and we'll rotate those for about 5 weeks, and then that cycle will come back. And then in addition, they'll have a la carte items, so they can have chips that they can purchase, or they'll have ice cream that they can purchase, or cookies, or fruit roll-ups, any of those items that are appetizing and nutritionally sound.
And what student doesn't like a good Rice Krispie treat during their lunch,
yes,
right?
Yes, or chips or ice cream.
Right.
And then in addition to that, the middle schools, they have a few more choices. They run anywhere from 5 to 7 choices each day.
Okay.
The uniqueness about the middle school and the elementary schools are, in elementary school, pizza is typically served 1 day a week.
Okay.
Okay? And middle school, it's every day. So when those fifth graders show up, they are so excited because they're like, pizza every day? Yeah, so that's a big something they have to adapt to.
Okay.
But they have 5 to 7 choices, and they also have some a la carte items as well. And they're a little bit different. They'll have a few more choices in their a la carte selection.
Okay.
Now, high schools, we have food courts everywhere in our high
Wonderful.
schools.
Yes.
So they have anywhere from 7 to 13 entrees
Wow.
each day. So
Wow.
they have a lot of choices. It's a little overwhelming for a ninth grader, but we try to walk them through and actually show them all their choices of what they can get, and then show them the items that are a la carte items.
Okay.
And parents just need to put money on their child's account so that they can purchase those a la carte items.
Okay. And parents can do that through myschoolbucks.com, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
so
and that's on our
parents-
website. So, and that's on the district's front page. So parents can put money on that account if they want their children to purchase additional items. And it gives them alerts. It gives, you can do a minimum amount on there if you want to. And if it gets low, it'll give you an autofill option if you want to. And then you don't have to worry about it.
I have used that option for my own personal child, and when his account balance for meals drops to $5, it sends me an alert. So everything Miss Bell is saying is absolutely accurate, and I just have that reminder to go add a little more money because he's been getting all the ice cream and chips and Rice Krispie treats that he can eat every day. Now,
And parents can put a alert on there. So if they don't want their children to eat chips every day or ice cream every day, or they only want their child to have certain a la carte items, or they only want their child to spend a certain amount of money, it does have those budgeting tools in there as well.
that is amazing information to know. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I know one last thing that we'll talk about. This school year, 22-23, there was a waiver that was done last school year for students, all students, to be able to have free breakfast and free lunch. We know that grant ended. And so we're now back to parents needing to complete free and reduced lunch applications to see if they qualify for free and reduced meals. Can you talk to our stakeholders a little bit about what that process has been like, and if they want to know if they qualify, how they can go about completing an application?
Sure. Yeah, and you're right, Dr. Shepard, that process has been a little different this year. It's been 2.5 years since we've actually had to fill out free and reduced applications in this district.
Right.
And of course, those waivers have gone away, as I mentioned before. That was funded by USDA. So now we're back to what we would consider a normal National School Lunch Program, where all parents have to fill out a free and reduced application. At that point, once the application is processed, we do send a letter out, and the letter does illustrate each child that has processed an application.
Okay.
And that's for a direct cert, which could be anybody that's on most of your SNAP benefits or your state benefits or Medicaid, perhaps.
Okay.
So that file actually comes from DCF. We have no control over that file, but it is inputted into our database, and at that point, a letter is generated to the family. What we have noticed this past year, which is very unusual, I think, is some of the letters that are going out don't have all the children's names on them.
Okay.
So you may have 3 children that you believe are eligible for free meals, but only received 2 letters.
Okay.
And I think parents, unfortunately, are making the assumption that all my children are free, but they're not. So
Okay.
they may be incurring a charge that they're not aware of.
Okay.
So we've asked parents to please look at those letters and read them, and they'll tell you every child's name on it. And if you don't see your child's name on it, there's a phone number on there, which is our office number to please call, and we will go and look and see why that child is not attached to that application.
Okay, great.
So that's the
great.
biggest change for this past year.
Okay, all right.
So it's very important, though, because parents are just, they know they're free, they know they've met that eligibility, and they may not be looking at the letter.
So parents, please look at those letters whenever you receive them from your child's school. Ms. Bell, is there any other information that you would like to provide related to food service or our wonderful meal heroes, those lunch ladies and lunch guys that get things all going for us every day? You all do so much and an amazing job. And I know that I'm a huge proponent of school lunch, coming from a school site not long ago. I ate in the cafeteria almost every single day,
Yeah.
and usually what the kids were eating. And I love the days that they would have the what we would call the mashed potato bowls.
Yes, yes, yes.
Absolutely love those. So I think a lot of schools are working with their families this year. We know during COVID we were limited on visiting and things like that in the schools, but we're wide open, and I've seen lots of engagement activities out at the school sites where schools are encouraging parents to come in and have meals, have lunch with their students. So we hope to see you out there, parents. The door is wide open.
Yes, come out and join us because we always look for feedback, and we really do want to have parents experience what their child's experiencing, and give us your feedback on the menu. There was some limitations we have to follow, but obviously we still accept all feedback. So come join us.
Wonderful. Well, Ms. Bell, thank you so much for joining us
you.
today, and we'll see you next time on Success in the Classroom.